Hi everyone, it's Mimi here once again. I'm back to show you how to make this super cute house like embellishment box or like shadow box. I originally saw this on Solange's channel. Let me pull up her information really quick just so you guys can see it, because she's where I got this idea from. She originally bought her shadow box from the Target dollar spot, I guess, but I wasn't able to find it, and she said it was like $5 I think, and I wanted to make a bunch of these, so I didn't want to have to buy a bunch for $5, and I made mine out of poster board, which you can get at Walmart for 88 cents, or you can get it from the dollar store, which is obviously $1, but Walmart is cheaper. And I'm just searching for Solange's channel here, so just give me a second. Okay, so this is Solange's channel. Hopefully you guys can see that. She makes some really pretty things, and this was, where is it? This was her embellishment box, and it's just basically like a little white house, and she said that she thinks it was for like to be a washi house or something, but I loved what she made and I really wanted to make some. So like I said, I made this out of poster board and some cardstock, and it looks like this on the back. It's just plain. And I just stuck my embellishments in there. These are a lot of fun to make, and today I'm going to show you just how to make the base to start with, and then I'll do another video of how I decorate these, which will probably just be a like voiceover video. So what you're going to need to make this is 3 sheets of cardstock, 12 by 12. This sheet I'm using for the back, so you need 1 sheet of cardstock to do the inside. So I'm going to show you this again. So you need 1 sheet of cardstock to do the blue, to cover the insides of all of these, and you need 2 sheets of cardstock to do the outside edges, like this. So wait, what is that? Yes, you need 2 sheets to do that, and then you need 1 more sheet to do the back. So that's why you need 3 sheets of cardstock, and then you need some poster board, which like I said, you can get from Walmart for 88 cents, or you can get from the dollar store for $1. And with the measurements I made, which I'm going to give you in a second, I made 2 already. I cut out enough for 2, and I still have, like, it covers the whole entire camera. You probably can't even tell how much I have left, but I still have enough left to probably make 3 more out of this sheet. So for 88 cents I made 5, or I can make 5 embellishment boxes or shadow boxes. I think I'll stick to calling these shadow boxes like Solange made. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you really quick how to make these in case you saw the video too and wanted to make one of your own, and I was really excited when she posted that video. So these are my poster board pieces, and you need, let me get these all laid out so I can show you really quick. I have the measurements written down right here, so if you need to pause the video while you cut them, you can. For like the top of this section, these measurements right up here, you need them cut out in poster board and in cardstock, because the poster board obviously is for the base, and then in the cardstock, which I chose purple for this one that I'm making currently, you need to cut them out for these. So you need the same amount for each. You need 5 of the biggest size, so that's these ones. You need 5 of the 7 by 2 inch strips of of poster board. Then you need 2 strips of the 5 by 2, and then 3 strips of the 3.5 by 2. And they're all by 2 inches. You can change up the measurements however you want. If you want it deeper, if you want it skinnier, you change the 2-inch measurement, and if you want a bigger house, you increase these measurements on this side. These bottom measurements here are to cover the outside of your house, so that's this gray paper here. And what I did, I just upped every measurement an inch, so instead of 2 inches, it's 3 inches, and then 4.5 inches, 6 inches, 8 inches. And you need 5 of the 8 inches by 3 inches, 2 of the 6 by 3 inch, and then 4 of the 4.5 by 3 inches. And that's out of cardstock. And that you need, this one you need 2 sheets of cardstock for, so make sure you have 2 matching sheets. So those are the measurements, and then this is what you'll end up with if you cut out everything. So here's my poster board pieces, and you can tell that these are not cut perfectly. But some of them I was able to get really nice clean edges on, and that was after I figured out the best way to cut the poster board, which I'm going to show you really quick. I just found a piece of scrap. So this is my piece of scrap of poster board, and to do this you'll probably want a box cutter, and then if you want you could use an exacto knife, but I think these work better. They're meant for heavy duty cutting. So the best way I found was to just draw your line, and what I did with all my pieces was I cut out like templates. You only need one template of each side. I have like 5 of the biggest ones, 2 and 3, because I was like making like a prototype of this, and I like put the house together in this cardstock instead of cutting up my poster board and making a mess of it. What I did, like I was saying, is I made the templates and then I just traced it out onto the poster board and then cut it out with my box cutter. So if you just draw out your line, I'm just going to draw a line really quick. So there's my line. The best way to do it is to just take your box cutter and like gently punch into the line, moving up and down like this. So now you have, I didn't really cut on the line, I was looking through the camera, but now you have it like almost cut. You can kind of see that it's not all the way cut there, but you have it pretty much cut, and then you can just take your knife and slide right through, and it makes a really clean cut. Literally just like here, I'll show you like this. You literally just go like this up and down in the poster board. But if you don't do that, you might end up with pieces like this where it kind of tugs out some of the poster board from the sides, which isn't a big deal because like I said, we're going to cover it. But if you, just to keep it cleaner, I would suggest going like this with your box cutter to cut your poster board. Like I said, just cut out based on the measurements I gave you, and if you do that, you will end up with all your sheets of poster board. You'll have your sheets of your cardstock to go on the inside. So in this case, the purple is going to be the blue, and then you'll end up with pieces that, so these ones I already cut because I didn't want this video to be forever, but you'll end up with pieces that are just slightly bigger than, well, an inch bigger than your poster board pieces, and the poster board piece is going to lay flat in there just like this, and then you'll be able to fold it over. So I scored all of mine an inch in. Hopefully you can see the score line. I just scored them an inch in from every side so that it was easy enough to fold in when I was folding it over the poster board. So you just glue them down and fold over. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. But you need to cut out this boxed area that I have, so you end up with pieces like this, so that when you fold it over, you don't have excess paper hanging out over the side of your thing, and it just makes it look a lot cleaner if you cut out these things. So you could go through and cut your pieces with your scissors. You could just cut them out like this, but you need to cut a ton of them. And this kind of takes like not that long, but when you're doing so many, it takes a little more time than it needs to. So what I found was that if you have a square punch, you could just punch that out with a punch, and you could do more than one sheet at a time. But I don't have a square punch, and I don't see a need to buy a square punch because I've never ever wanted a square punch until this moment. So instead of buying a square punch for no reason, I'm using my hexagon punch, which is actually much more useful. I really like having this punch, but all you need to do is slide it in there, and you don't have to box out your lines like I did. I just did so you guys can see. But you line up this corner of the hexagon with the corner of the square on your piece of paper, and then you just punch, slide it in, punch, and then slide it back in and punch. And as you can see, that's a lot faster than going through and cutting them each with the scissors. So that's just a tip. If you want to do scissors, you can totally do scissors. That's not a big deal. So glue all of your, after you have all your cardstock cut out, glue these pages first, your bigger sheets down onto this first. So we're going to do that step now, and then we'll mess with the purple cardstock right now, or later. I found the best type of glue to use would be just a liquid glue for the bottom to cover up this side, but then when you're folding, because this is thick cardstock, I just use tape because it's a lot easier. You could use hot glue, but hot glue burns your fingers, so I don't want to do that when I'm folding over edges that aren't always the same, depending, I don't know, it's weird, but they're not always like half an inch when you fold over because of the width, and then sometimes you got wonky pieces. So I would recommend just using tape. You could use liquid glue, but you will spend forever holding it down. So you can either use this kind of tape, just clear tape, normal stuff, or you could use your washi tape, and I'm just using this one because I have a bunch of blue washi tape and I never make anything blue. So you just gotta glue it down, stick your card or your poster board on there. You could also make this out of cardboard, that would work. I just think the poster board is like a cheap option to buy if you don't have a lot of cardboard, or if you save your boxes for sending the Happy Mail or whatever. So I'm just going to take the tape, and then you just fold it over, tape it down, and remember, don't worry about what the sides, or what like this front side here looks like, because we're going to be covering up with the purple tape, or with the purple paper. And it looks something like that, or if you glued it or use clear tape, it might look a little different, but that's it. And you have a nice clean edge, clean edge, clean edge, clean, clean. So I'm going to do this to all of my poster board pieces, and then I'll be back. Okay guys, so I'm back with my pieces all done, and you can see that they are not the prettiest on the other side, but that's okay because we're about to cover them up. I just wanted to say one thing about the washi tape. Since my cardstock is so thick, I used for this one a very thin cardstock, so I thought this, like, I didn't really think about it before I did this one, but since this one was so thick, it didn't fold as easily, and the washi tape didn't hold it down as nicely as I wished it would. So I did have to go in with, maybe you can see the glare on there, maybe not, I don't know, but I did have to go in with some regular like gift wrap tape, and then I did use my hot glue gun a little bit. To make sure you don't burn yourself with your hot glue gun, you can just fold your edges like this by rolling it down. Then you won't burn your fingers, hopefully. But that's that, and the washi tape did help hold it down a little bit, so it wasn't all lost. But if you're using thin paper, washi tape should work fine. Otherwise, you might just want to go ahead and go with a hot glue gun or regular tape, or you could always, again, use this. So now I'm going to move on and show you guys how, well, I guess not really how, but just what the next step is, and it's just basically to glue these down. That's what I mean. I'm not really going to show you how to do it. You probably already know how to do it. But once you glue them down, and I think I'm going to just go ahead and use my tacky glue to do this. Like I said, with this paper, you can use whatever adhesive you want, whatever fits, whatever you have. But you just basically glue it down, and then stick your cardstock on top. Go ahead, glue them down, and you can press them down like this, and then just leave them flat down. And if you have edges like this, you can go back in with your hot glue gun later and glue it all the way down. Or once you have them all glued down, then we can start putting the house together. So I'm going to glue mine all down really quick, and then I'll show you how to put the house together. Okay, so I'm back with my pieces that are all covered with the cardstock, and I made an oopsie. I was telling you guys earlier to use the same paper on the both sides of the smallest pieces, but I forgot to, and I made them all purple, which isn't a big deal. The only thing is that one side's going to be purple in here, and then one side's going to be green, but I don't really feel the need to change it. I'll just make it work inside my little house. But yeah, so this is what they look like all covered, and the edges are kind of flipping up here, as you can see, but I'm going to go through once I'm done making the house and like glue them all down. And now I'm going to show you how to put your house together. It is really simple to do, and yeah, just gonna do it. So you need a hot glue gun. If you want to use something else, I don't know how to tell you how to hold them because it's going to take forever. I guess maybe you could try and use tape, but I would honestly just suggest using hot glue. Now, you're going to want to start off with two of the biggest pieces, so two of the 7 by 2 inch pieces, and you're just going to glue them at a right angle like this. So put a strip of hot glue down. Oh, I need more hot glue. Okay, so just put a strip of hot glue down and make it generous because then it will stick for sure. And then, like I said, just glue it at a right angle facing up the best you can. I mean, if it's not perfectly right angle, you're fine. So once that's done, and I would just give it a couple seconds to dry, you can move on to the next one, and I'm just going to do it this way because it's easier to work. Put another strip of hot glue down, take another long 7 by 2 inch piece, and then make another right angle. Oops. And then just give that, again, a couple seconds to dry and kind of set. So here's what it looks like from my point of view. So they're pretty straight. This one's a little wobbly, but once I put this in, it should be fine. What I do is I get a ruler, and since these are both 7 inches long, I measure 3.5 up, make a mark, and then do the same on the other side. So, and it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, as long as you can pretty much eyeball that it's straight. And I had this problem last time, and it's because I glue these on the inside of the bottom piece. So you're just going to have to trim it down a little bit, and it's not a big deal. Just trim it down with your scissors. And just take off a very small amount, because if you take off any more, it might be too short. So just do it in small increments, and it's not going to, you're not going to notice when you glue it down. So let's see if that worked. Still a little big. So that looks pretty good to me. I think I'm going to keep it like that. And you just want to go in and put a strip of glue down each mark where it's 3.5 inches. And sorry if you can hear the commotion going on upstairs. I don't know what they're doing. They're screaming up there. Okay, so that's what that looks like when you, ooh, okay. Okay, that should be good now. So here's what we've got so far. And then you want to take your last 7.5, or not 7.5, 7 by 2 inch piece, and you're just going to glue it right on top of these two pieces. And you might have to squeeze it together a little bit like I do, but that just makes your house more sturdy, and it makes the corners, not corners, but like edges tighter. So that looks good to me. And then here you have, now this is why you want to measure up 3.5 inches, because these rectangles or pieces are 3.5 inches, and they're just going to go in, and they kind of should tightly slide in there if you did it right. And they're just going to go in like this. Now see, this is what I mean. Now it kind of looks weird with just the purple, but if I face these two together, it doesn't really look like a mistake. This one, no, it doesn't really look like that big of a mistake. So I don't know, if you mess up, just kind of work with it and do the best you can. So I'm gonna glue mine like this because that's what I did in this one, and I really like how I did it. But if you wanted to, you could make 4 of these pieces and divide all of the rooms. You could not make any of these pieces and just have 2 giant rooms and decorate them that way, or you can make 3 or however many, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Just make 3.5 by 2 inch pieces to separate into different rooms of your house. So there's that, and this is what it looks like from the sides and everything. So the sides kind of look weird with just the purple, but it's not a big deal. And once your project is done, you really don't notice the paper differences. You could always use all the same paper if it bothers you, but I don't have 3 sheets of this green cardstock, so I didn't want to do that. And then your house or your roof just goes on like this. So to glue it together, put a strip of glue on one of the sides of the house, or the roof, and the roof is made of the 5 by 2 inches, and then just stick it down, and if your hot glue is hot enough, you should have a little bit of wiggle time to hold, or to make it into the right angle. And what I did to do that is I just lined it up with the edge of, or the edges of the house, and it should move a little bit too. Like, I don't think it's gonna be stone or stuck like stone. So just, okay. And then to glue it on, another strip of hot glue. And just glue one side down and the other. And just line it up on the edges like that. So this is what your house should look like so far. And like I said, I'm going to go back through and glue down all the paper because that's really bothering me. So I'm just going to do it really quick. And then the last step to our house is you could leave it open like this, but I didn't really like that because I tried it at first. But what I'm going to do is grab your last sheet of cardstock. So like I said, you need 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of cardstock. And you're just going to slap it on there. And then what I was going to trace it out and cut it out after, but what I did first was like with my first house, was I just glued all the edges down and then cut it after with my X-Acto knife, and you could definitely do that, but I didn't like it as much because for some reason, like, the glue, like, wasn't sticking, and, like, my paper peeled back up, so I ended up having to go back through and glue it all again. But if you do it this way, you can avoid that, or if you just know how to do it right, you could probably avoid that and just cut out with your X-Acto knife after. But I'm just going to do it this way, make it easier. And you want to trace it after, you don't want to cut out a house shape beforehand, because your house might be misshapen. The edges aren't exactly square, they're kind of rounded. So, and it's all not perfect. If you make a perfect house, congratulations. Let me know how you did that. So I've got the house piece, and that just sits on there like this, and oh crap. So my roof isn't exactly even on both sides, but I want the purple to show through here, so I'm going to glue it on like this. And if you wanted to, you could use double-sided cardstock or make your own double-sided cardstock, but we'll see what I end up doing. I kind of like the white on the back, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue this all down. So that is the house. This is what you'll end up with. I glued down the other side, that's why my paper is up on this side, but not a big deal. I'm just going to finish gluing this down, guys, but and then I will start decorating it, and that is going to be its own separate video. I will definitely link it down below and put it up in the cards. It'll pop up like right there. But I'm going to link that so you guys can see how I decorated it. I'm also going to link Solange's channel in my description box, so you guys can head over there and make sure you subscribe to her and watch her video, because like I said earlier, she's where I got this idea from, and she's where I got also the decoration idea from. So you'll find a lot of inspiration over there if you're making this. And yeah, that is that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you make one of these, definitely post on Instagram with the hashtag inspired by Mimi Lee. I'm gonna make it pop up right here because I want to see it, and you guys can also tag me in it if you want. Like, I don't really care, or if you post it and don't tag me in it at all, that's cool too. You can do whatever you want, but if you want me to see it, you can use that hashtag. But yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry it's been a little bit shaky and a little bit disoriented, but I hope you guys got the gist of it, and I'll be sure to link all of the measurements down below. Here's those again, but I'll also have them in the description box in case for some reason you can't read my handwriting. And I will also post the supplies there so you guys can make sure you have everything before you start. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.